screen and we can just kick off this session. Guys, we're diving into the practical session. Please, all hands on deck. This is the time where we don't back out. Please, no backing out. All hands on deck, right? So yeah, Casey, you can take the microphone and let's kick off today's session. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry about that. So yeah, last week we learned about get and which other one I think. Don't mind me. I actually got engaged with something. So, but yeah, it's nice having you back. So today we'll just be going into mainly workshops. So we are done with theory and explanation. They say when you keep explaining, no evidence, you go explain tire. But now there's evidence. So less of the slide and more of the workshop. So for this week, what we'll be looking at is Reth and Lighthouse. So I don't have that here. When we get to that aspect, I would introduce Lighthouse, then we get to use it. So execution client, which is Reth, and then we have our consensus client, which is Lighthouse. And we all know what that is. So I'll not be explaining all that. Probably you can also find some of them in the documentation. So what we have here, I'll be using one of the node setup. I probably Wednesday or Friday, hopefully you would get to see again the hardware, and then you get to see how we set up these things from ground up. And then we'll be going into this is just an overview of what we'll be doing both next week and what we did last week. So we'll also be walking you through Ethereum. There are shorter ways of doing this. Like at the end of this, for fun, I'll show you how to use AI to do all these things. But please don't try this at home or at school. So, but yeah, just for fun, we would make use of AI and then just tell AI, hey, install Reth and Lighthouse and configure the node for me, and then we'll take our hands off and let it do the whole no magic, but yeah, let it do the whole work. I don't like stress. Getting lazy a bit these days, the AI era. So yeah, what we'll be doing at the end is we'll also have AI get to do this manual setup that we are about to do. So while we're doing this, first of all, it might be like, why don't we just jump straight to using AI? But yeah, you need to understand what it's actually doing. Like if you use AI to code or vibe code, which is the new trend now, when you use AI, they call it vibe code. But me, I don't vibe code. It's the AI that is vibe coding, doing everything. So I just fold my hands and then just watch it. So you just need to know how to prompt these things and you get what you want. But that's by the way. At the end, we'll be making use of AI to do the same thing we'll be doing today manually. We'll be doing that manually for fun, just to enjoy how it feels like. If we have errors, this is life. If we have errors that we can't fix, then we probably search them out, then check. So this is hands-on and how you typically do this from level, not level zero, because you now know about nodes. So from level two, yeah. So this is so let's start from actually the first level. So this is my server just beside me here. First of all, let's just look at Reth. Last week you discussed about execution, consensus, and validator client. So Reth, this is what it is. This is the documentation. I won't talk much about it. You can also read about it. As you can see, it's an execution layer. And this is the whole documentation. The goal, why Reth, why the combo you prefer. For me, I prefer using Reth Lighthouse or Nimbus and others, like those light package stuff. So Reth, this is it, and it was built and compiled with Rust. Yeah. So this is Reth, and nothing really fancy, just documentation. And as you can see, it's not much actually. By the time we get into it, you discover that it's not actually that much. What you're seeing here, you can consume it if you just sit and keep practicing. So we'll just dive straight into it. So let's just go into this is the pre-built binary and all that, installing that directly and going through this whole, you don't need to stress yourself. skip this section and let's go into running this setup with Docker. For me, as soon as I go into a documentation and then I just find there's a Dockerized version and you can either build from source. Sometimes for fun, if my system can handle it, I can just go building from source. But most especially, it's advisable to just use what Docker, because there will definitely be some packages that would not work on your system, or the version you have would not be compatible with what you have for that package. So what we'll be doing today, we'll be looking at both the Docker and GitHub. So that is what we'll be doing today. So we'll pull both Docker, test that, get rid of it, and also get into the binary. So first of all, let's just go into the binary and see how it works. So this is it, build from what? The source, which is what we'll be doing today. But because I've already tested that, you just see that in preview mode. So let's just get started. This is my main system, which is this, which is here currently. So I would want to SSH into my server hosted somewhere else. So this is my server. This is local. I won't be showing you my public IP, just for also this video would be published and I might get, someone can just sit for fun and keep pinging my servers just for fun. So this is local. If you have my VPN, which is here, which I also provide VPN. If you have that, you can also have access to this. But for now, this is just me alone. My public IP would not be shown on the video. But for you, if you'll be using a service somewhere else or something, you'll be using a public IP address. But for me, this is local. And then I can decide to switch off the system and change the local IP address. So you can't even, if you are to ping this, it would be something on your local network that would actually be on this IP address. So I hope with this few point of mine, I've not confused you, but convinced you that I'm just trying to take security measures here. Thank you. So let's just get into it. So SSH, this is how I usually SSH into my server. So all I need to do, I think I have SSH into this, and yeah, you can just see this is just brief info and it is still my local IP. This is also local. If I had done that with my public IP, probably it would have been exposed here. And yeah, so just trying to take security measures when running nodes. First of all, when learning how to drive cars, the first thing you are being taught is how to match brake. It would be emphasized that okay, yeah, this is how to stop the car before moving it. So also whatever I'll be doing here would also be teaching you the security part of it, and we also are still learning. So feel free, as you all know, usually these classes, if you have a question or you have something to say or probably a better way of doing something, feel free. We are all learning. Say it, would learn, work on it, and improve ourselves. And it's a win-win for everyone. Yeah. So this is it. I've SSH'd into the server. And now all we need to do is, let me have this by. So I think let me increase the font for this here and hide this. Then I can also, let me just do this a bit. Yeah. Let's have this side by side. Good. So I hope you can all see my screen, and yeah, so let's just get right into it and see what we have. So we are building from where? So this is it. First of all you just need to do is to what? Install Rust. So you can just click copy and then paste. So I already have Rust. I think this should probably work, or it should stay. Okay, yeah. So this is the installation process for Rust. As soon as you're done with that, all you need to do is to then run this command. So this is adding Rust to your system path. So you just run this command, and then for Ubuntu, Mac OS, or Windows, yep, so this is it. You choose one to proceed with standard installation, we are not pro users here for Rust because this is not a Rust tutorial. So just go with the first one. When you select one, so it would actually do all the installation. So I already have that installed, as you can see, and yeah, this is already set. So I'm already done with the first step. So you can now copy this. I'm on Ubuntu. If you're on Mac, all you just need to do is to run this. If you're on Windows, you either do this or the second one. So let's clear our terminal and I can sudo apt install. So this is some of the packages that is being needed to what build the Reth file. So this is it. So once more, I already have this, so I'll not be running that on my system. Sometimes you might have issues like the package is not compatible. All you just need to do is to sudo apt upgrade and then update. That is for Linux users. Please, if you're on Windows, yours should work fine. If you're on Mac, it should work fine. Just for Linux users. So next, what we need to do is to clone this, which I haven't cloned. Yeah. So this would, depending on the speed, excuse me, the speed of your network. So this should clone a bit fast. And as soon as you're done, you just cd into Reth and you run this command. So this would actually install build the Reth package for you and also have that on your system. So let's just have this install and then clone and then would continue with that. Then as soon as you're done, for you to update your Reth package, probably there's a new update and you just need to test it out. All you just need to do is to cd into your Reth folder, because when you clone, it gets into this file. We can probably change the name. Immediately after git clone this, I could just give it a name here, and then it would copy everything from this repo into that file. But because I did not pass anything here, it would be in the Reth folder. So as you can see, we are done. We actually set it to what cd into the folder, which is what Reth. So let's get back here, copy this command and no, not that, sorry. So let's get rid of that and paste this here. So as you can see, so this should now build Reth and also install that for you on your system. This should be a bit fast. I think I have Reth probably installed already, but yeah. So all you just need to do is to cd into that same folder, git fetch, git check out the version you want, and then cargo build dash dash release. So you have your new and shiny Reth. Yeah. So this is just for optimization processes. So feel free to dive into this. Would not be going into all that. What we are here for is to set up our nodes. Yeah. So we can now go back to making use of Docker, which is the fun part, because you don't need to do all these things. You don't need to stress yourself. Yeah. So for Docker, all you just need to do after cloning the repo, which is what you still do, and you just cd into it. And while this is running, I'll just run you through it. When we get to the part where we need to run, I would go into that and then we run that. So you can just Docker pull. This would get the image. If you don't know about Docker and you want to search about it, please feel free. You're also learning. Then you just run the command that would build the image for you. That's what we call that in Docker. That is not a node stuff. Yeah. Building the Docker image, as you can see, you can build it locally and you can also test it as soon as you're done building it. Yep, I think this should almost be done. As soon as this is done, we should be able to test our file. And yeah, so let's see what next. So this is it. First of all, you can either use Docker or Docker Compose. They all work. I've tested both. They all work fine. So you can either go with just Docker run and then you pass in the configuration to your file and then you run your node, or you could also use what? The Docker Compose. So mind you, if you are using this, currently we would be building our own locally. So that would work fine for us, just copying this. But if you actually cloned this from GitHub, if you cloned that from GitHub, or no, not from GitHub, if you actually made use of this, which is that of GitHub, if you actually made use of this for Docker, this is Docker. When you get to this section, this path, you need to change it with this. So this here, at this junction, when you copy this file, remember, if you made use of Docker, all you just need to do is to swap it with this path, and then everything would work fine if that is what you did. But if you would be making use of Docker Compose, which is what we'll be making use of, you can simply just run this command, and then you have both your Lighthouse and your Reth running together. So this is just like a one-line command. So this is where the cheat code is for running both the Lighthouse and your Reth together. So if this is all what we're meant to do today, I think probably we would have been stopping here, but we still have some fun parts to play with here. So we'd actually run this, and then you can see how it works. Then we would actually disable it and then get to make use of Reth alone, setting up Reth alone, and then setting up Lighthouse on its own, and then having the two work together, which is very simple. There's just one thing that connects both of them, which is this part here. So this is your what? Secret JWT for the consensus client can be found here. So this is what both Reth and Lighthouse will be using to communicate with each other. So this is their authentication, like the password. This is what they'll be using. So wherever you generated that from, just make sure that you pass in the right string. Let's see. I think after this should be done. So for every other subsequent command, if I already have that, I won't stress myself running through this whole setup again. So I can spin up another node, and so that we don't waste much time, let's clear this and zoom this a bit. Yeah. So let me just fix that here. I have second terminal so that you can see how things work. So when we ls, this is what we have. This is our folder, what we actually cloned. If you remember the first command, which was this. Nope, that was a different command. So we could cd into Reth and here. So these are all the Docker files you would need. So can you see them? So this is it. Let me move this up a bit, and yeah. So all we need to do is to come up here, and so we already have, so we can go with this, but since we are skipping this step, we actually built ours, so we'll be skipping this step and going with, or preferably, let's test this out. Let me just show you how it works. So cd out of it, clear, and then, oh, sorry about that, I need to add in sudo. So if you find some of these issues, you just need to pass in sudo. So pulling image image is up to date. So I already have that. I can now, so to just test it, let's just test and see. You can test the image with this. Oh, I still need sudo. I'm sorry, I forgot. Which is this. As you can see, this is the version of Reth that I have using Docker, not this. So this is also done. As you can see, I have same version, both that of Docker and the one that was installed on the system, which is this, and as you can see on Docker. So we'll get back to this. Let's just have some fun with this. So I can now do this, which is to run. Okay, yeah, I now need to what? Run my node, right? So I just need to copy this, paste it here, and then remember, I need to change this part to this. So let's just copy and paste that. Why am I? I'm sorry, one more time. Forgot to add sudo. Ah, don't do this to me. Yeah, so this is it. We now have our Docker, that of Docker running. We can check the process using sudo docker ps-a. So as you can see, this process is actually running. So this is it. Everything is running fine. And our node is now running. I think we should be able to access the logs. Okay, we passed in this. Yep, and this is it. So the currently Reth is now running fine. As you can see, this is our local. This is from the image using Docker, not Docker Compose. So this is what we have from the image. So we'll just be running them, then we'll go through their logs and then see how well they are performing. Next, let's just get rid of this. If you want to get rid of what you have running on your Docker container, this is sudo docker ps-a. It would show you all the running Dockerized containers on your system. So if I want to get rid of that, all I just need to do is to stop that and remove that image. Remove the. So if I'm to do this now, as you can see, container ID has been removed. So that image is no longer running. I can now decide to make use of this Docker Compose. But for me to be able to run this, I need to cd into the Reth folder, which is this. Because if you remember, this is, you can see this part where it's actually following. We can access that part here, which is cd etc and then ls. So can you see all these files? So this is docker compose.yaml, which is yml. We can see that of Grafana. We can see that of the Lighthouse, which is this command. So you need to be in the Reth folder to do that. So let's cd out. But before you do that, let's create our private key, which is the JWT token that would be used both in Lighthouse and in the execution client for them to be able to communicate in a secure way. So we need to run this first. Copy this, paste that here. It has generated this file, which is this. And then what we need to do next, copy this, and then always remember the almighty sudo, and then start. So as you can see, Reth, Lighthouse, and all these other ones are just for viewing how the Lighthouse and the Reth actually runs. So that is what this three are actually doing. So let's go back to our Docker PS and see what do we have there, which is Docker PS-A. As you can see, this is much more than the initial one. So we have, this is our metric exporter, this is Grafana, this is the Proteus, this is the Lighthouse. And as you can see, this was the one we actually ran initially, just the Reth. So we had to combine both the Lighthouse and all these other packages. So initially we ran only, where are you? Yep, this is it. So initially it was just the red, but now we have the complete package, which is this. And let's go into it and see what we can do next. So to check if red is running correctly, let's just copy this. Don't forget your sudo. I think this sudo issue is just with me, but for you, you just need to copy that and paste in your command. So as you can see, connected pairs, we have one, which is good. Sometimes it can get as high as, I would have showed you others that are actually running, but my IP address is on them. So I'm sorry about that. Probably on Wednesday, I'll find a way to get it hidden and then show you. I think this gets at as high as 100, 250. The higher it is, the better for your node. That means your node is actually seeing other nodes that are running and they are actually making connections. So that's it. So this is one. I think maybe in 1 or 2 minutes, it should get to 2. So as you can see, you now have your node running fine. So this is just the basic setup. Remember, at the end, we would have AI do all these things for us. So let's get into the next section. So we're able to combine all of them, and yeah, as you can see, they are all running. So for us to be able to view the Grafana dashboard, which we actually set up, let's just go through what the documentation. As you can see, Grafana will expose what localhost 3000, which is what we actually saw here. Where are you? This, yes, this is it. So for us to access Grafana, we can just go to port 3000. So because I'm connected on the same network as the node, I don't need to make use of the IP address. I think, let me open that here so that I don't expose my IP address. And yeah, so this is it here. Yep. So do I need to log out? Sign out? Yes. So as you can see, this is what you would actually see when you hit that IP address. If you remember, this is what I actually use to SSH into my system. So for you to be able to access that, you can't use localhost because it is not on this system that we are currently running the node. We could actually do that on this system, but just to show you the real world use of it, that you would not be making use of the same system you use for your personal work. You would actually be making use of the server. So the URL which the server operates on your local network, you just need to append colon 3000. That is your own local host. And for some reason, if you try accessing this and the page keeps loading or it does not work, all you just need to do is that the system is being blocked by firewall. So let me show you I hope I'm able to remember the command. So you just need to sudo ufw allow, then which port do you want to allow? Port 3000. So this is it. As soon as you do this, if you're to access this either on your local IP or on your public IP, it would actually allow that connection. But if you disable that, which I think, let's give it a try and see. Disable, let's see. Oops, that is not disabled. Okay, deny. Oh, forgive me. Deny. Yep. Let's see if we can access this. Yeah, I'm able to access this because I'm on the local network. If I'm to use my public IP, I would not be able to access this because firewall will block any incoming request from an external IP address. So all you just need to do, in case you have such issues, probably when using GoDaddy, I say GoDaddy, yeah, either AWS, which other service providers? There are so many. So all you just need to do on the server, you just sudo UFW, then you allow. This would allow both TCP and UDP. There's no time to start differentiating what UDP and TCP means. So I just allow all. So this is for both UDP and TCP. So I can now access this on my public IP, but this is local. As you can see, all I just need to do is, where are you? Put in my password, which is what? Admin. And yeah, so for this, you can actually see it. It's admin. As soon as we're done, I'm taking that down. So it will request I put in something new, which for now we can skip. But please, when actually making use of this, don't skip all this step. Put in new password just to be secure, please. So this is what we have. We can now go into the home and see what's in for us. So this is the home dashboard. We can see the Ethereum matrix. We can see red pair discovery. Let's check this and see what we have. Why are you blank? Okay. Let's go back and check this. Okay, connected pair 0. Is this live? Yep, so we can see all the commit time, heat map, transaction, account. So this is the thinking. As you can see, this is the dashboard you get. So, but our pairs, let's check this. We can go back to our documentation, check if Reth is actually running. Let's copy that, come in here, paste. I forgot the sudo. Yep, and let's see. Okay, it's 0. So probably when it turns to 1, the dashboard should also reflect that, which is here. And there are so many other data you probably might just find interest in. Let's see, what is this request? And so many more. When you have it sync, most of this would all be filled up, and then you would have your actual data. Let's check this one more time. So I hope you're following. If you have any question, please feel free. Or if you want us to go back or try something new, or please feel free. So this is T0, received header, total block. And yeah, so connected pair 1. Let's go back. And yep, as you can see, this is 1. So our node is kind of syncing, as you can see. So this is it. Connected pair is 1. We are making progress. So I would not let this run for long because it's on this same server. We have the Base blockchain. If you know about Base, we are currently running that of it. But I think I restarted the system, so I would have to restart the whole process. And if you would also like to learn how to set that up, the workshop would also make provision for that, how to set up L2s and others. Yeah. So this is it. We have 1 pair count. Let's go back and see. It's still 1 total header, and yeah. So we're actually doing fine now. Let's go back into our documentation. Please, if you have any question, please feel free to ask, and then Yeah, any question before we go further? Any question? Yeah, so this is it for our execution client and consensus client. Whoa, this is synced. Wow, execution, the Lighthouse is synced already, and this is a mainnet. Are you for real? I'll be shutting this down. Yeah, our execution layer has to be synced first before we can now set up our validator client. So this must sync first. So this is the guy that actually takes time. So as you can see, mainnet, this is mainnet, and you can see the sync percent 100. This is effort distance, count per block, slot distance. If you remember what we say what slot is, please, you can also search that. The sync rate, you can see the sync distance, and yeah, withdrawals, amount withdrawn, pairs, and yeah, some nice, as you can see, the sync percent. So this is how, this is showing a positive result, because in a matter of probably 50, no, 50 hours, that's 2 days, and so in less than 50 hours this should also be synced, and then we can now stake. So as you can see, this is all looking good. So this was the one line command we ran. So if you want to set up a node with this, now with this, we now have our RPC endpoint, which is this. Let's go back to our terminal and see. Connected pairs should be 2. Okay, good. It's 2 already. So connected pairs should get as high as, because there's something fancy. Let me show you something. Let's get more. Let's have more fun. Let me SSH into my server here and then my router, and then show you the configuration that is on it. Yeah, what's the password? So which, if you also have issues on, you might, I think my public IP is here, but let me switch to port forwarding. Yep. So yeah, so this is still on localhost, and yeah, as you can see, this is the port. For this to be able to work, sometimes we were having some issues with port and all that, but it has been resolved. But before, initially, what we do is that we port forward, we map every port. So if you have port 90, we map it to a different port. So when hitting this on the internet, when you hit port 9003, what it does is that it routes that incoming request to this system, and then it hits it on port 90. So what the system we currently have here, which is this, is, let's open a new, which is 229. Let's search for 229. Let's see, where are you? Yes, so this is 229. As you can see, we have port 3000, which is this, and 301. So I can hit 301 on my public IP. It would take me to the Grafana dashboard. But what you would actually see is what? Colon 3001. So let me show you that. I think I have a DNS here. So let me get my DNS. Is that Q? Okay. Yep. 3001. Yes. So this is my DNS. So we'll be playing with all this stuff, and yeah, so instead of showing you my IP address, so this is my DNS. So it would port 3000. What this would do is that it would take me to, where is the other dashboard? This. So this is where it is routing me to. Why? Because on the public network, where are you? 29. Yep, here. So on the public network, what we said is that when someone from an external environment hits 3001, what you do is that route it to this node, which is what is currently running. So on that node, it will now check what do we have open on that node. You configured it to what? Port 300. So if we have something running on port 300, that is what would get sent to this. So when you make a request, what you get is what is running internally on port 300. So what we did is that same thing applies to the port that needs to be exposed for running your Lighthouse, which is 9003, which is this. Can you see that here? This is 9001. Okay, it was even changed, 9001 to 303. So all I can do here is come back here. As you can see, we have 3003. I routed it to what? 3. So I could change this now because internally we have changed this local one to port 9001. So I could edit this, modify. So apply. So now this would now allow incoming request, because if I'm to hit port 90, which is something like this, if I'm to hit this port with 9002, when it gets to this node, by the time it checks, okay, port 9000, sorry, and on 9000 there's nothing there, it will just return an empty page, like an error page. But now I've actually routed it to what? 9001. So I think our Reth count should even move faster. Where are you? Let's check that. So our pairs should move faster now. These are some minor stuff that you, okay, let's just give it some time. This should move faster now because that port has now been exposed, so it would move faster and then sync faster. So these are just some of the tips, but currently you don't need that because there are some configuration and there are tools which you would also be learning, like Docker, Pillar. All those tools have actually fixed all these issues we were having with port. So you don't need to bother about my port is not opening, I need a sophisticated router like mine. Nah, you don't need that now. All you just need is to make use of those tools. So I think, yeah. So we can also access the same dashboard here. If you remember, the password is admin. So you also can access this. You also, if I'm to copy this and paste it in the chat, you also can. If you have your system, you can also just type this. You can also access this. The password is admin. Immediately after this, I'm taking down the whole setup because the node, this is just for the workshop. So we're actually making use of base node for this. So as you can see, this is the dashboard. You can also access this live. Let's see the pair discovery. Let's check. It's a bit slow because it's now over the internet. So is this where we're meant to be? Sorry. Let's check this. Yes. So you can see this here. Let's go back and check the Reth performance. Go back. Transaction pool. Okay. And pair discovery. Why is there no data? Let's check this. Yes. Okay. So this was the page. So we have 2 here. And as you can see, our node is now moving fine. So this is it. With this now, let me show you something. If you now want to deploy, probably this is on mainnet now. If you now want to interact with the mainnet, all I can do now, all I just need to do is to give you this URL and then add in colon. Then we have port 3001, right? So for you to be able to interact with it, all you need is port 8585, which is running. Where is the terminal for that? Let's end this here and Docker. So let's see. So this is it. So I could just give you this now. 8546. That should be it. Let's also check the configuration. Our RPC endpoint, which is 85. Yeah, so the Reth, okay, this is for Reth 8551. Our RPC endpoint is now the 8546. So if I'm to give you that, excuse me, for those that are into smart contract and all that, when deploying your smart contract, you can now send transaction directly to this node here. So you can now interact with your own blockchain. So, but yeah, as soon as this is synced, we can now interact with our own blockchain. Currently, we can now get some transaction, check out some things. But as soon as it's synced, you can now send transaction to your own blockchain. And then you'll be making use of the local host, no longer public IP. So all you just need to do is this endpoint colon 8546 and you're good to go. So this is one of the benefits of having your own node. So I hope, do you have any other question before we stop all this process and then get to do them separately? I think our time is fast spent. I think we might just use the AI to do them separately and then have fun with it. So that's just your one line for running Reth and Lighthouse. That is why I prefer Reth and Lighthouse. This is my number one go-to combo. Any day, anytime, I would pick Reth and Lighthouse. Currently on Ethereum, the one for Gnosis chain, what we are using is Netherminds and Lighthouse. So that is also a good combo, and it also syncs very fast. So you either go Reth and Lighthouse or Nethermind and Lighthouse. So that is also something very good and interesting. I think let me change this back, modify 00, apply. So any question before we go further? Any question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So you said you're going to share the link for us to try to
Wait, sorry, can you speak a bit louder?
okay, you said you want to share a link that, for us to try to check.
Okay, the link to check this node. Okay, no, there will be no need because I'm already shutting down this particular node. Okay, would you want to test it? I could have that running and I would have to shut it down because when spinning up another node on this, if these ports are already taken, it would actually not run. So I would have to change the whole port. So which is a lot of work, changing all this. So yeah, let's just
All right, no problem. Let us proceed.
okay. Probably subsequent classes. For the subsequent classes, we are working on having like servers where we just create different accounts and then give it out. So right there, right, like as you are, probably next class, you all show up with your laptops. So you can also try these things out, test them yourself, and also have fun with it. Then after the class, we shut down the system and then wipe it because it would actually take a lot of space. So this, I would have to turn it off and delete the database. Yeah, so you can see this. This is just the font, one line. You don't need to stress yourself with so many configuration. And yeah, so any other question before I shut this down? Any other one? Any other question?
Okay, so in the first step of the installation is actually it's kind of a free installation, right?
Okay, the installation.
Yeah. We're talking about the
Okay,
website.
okay, okay. So I wish we were all testing this because, as you can see, for me, I didn't really have any error. But to be sincere, I've watched tutorial videos that I did the same thing, downloaded the same source code. But when I came to run my own, it was giving me errors. So these things, yeah, they happen. So first of all, you can either go two-way. You can either build from source or use Docker. But it's most advisable to use Docker because the the probability of having an issue is there but is negligible. So this is why you would probably, as soon as you land on a documentation, and then there's Docker and then build from source or install, preferably just go with Docker because that one works out of the box. So I would not explain what Docker is doing or what Docker does. So just you can also research that. So first of all, if you'll be going with Docker, you can just you make sure you have Docker installed. First of all you just need is to install Docker. If you have it on Windows or Mac, or just install Docker on Ubuntu. It's as simple as that. All I just need to do is to how to install Docker, and this is the command here. Just follow this step. This is what I also used for installing Docker on my own system. As soon as I'm done, I just run this command and then I'll see this. When you're done, you just come back here, you copy this command, you paste it, which is what we actually did. Then, first of all, try to read and then confirm so that you don't run multiple things. So you just keep this because what you'll be running by default will be the stable release. So this is it. And then for you to test it, just run this. If you have any error, then you can now copy that error and then paste it. But for us, if we were to copy this and run that here, let's clear this. Oops, I forgot my super sudo, the almighty sudo. Yep, so this is it. As you can see, it says what Reth version 1.3.4. This is every other miscellaneous that came with it. So if you have this, you're good to go. But if you have any other thing or probably an error or something, you can now copy that and then paste it in your search engine and look for better ways of resolving that issue and then continuing. Then, as soon as you're done, you can now see what is building the Docker image. So I can either run this to build the Docker image, which it would take several minutes. And then as soon as it's done, I can now run this. Or, so once I'm done with that, which is this. So one thing the documentation did not specify is that currently here, it's for this one. So you notice here, it says what? Using plain Docker. All you just need to do is to run this, right? But for this one, it did not actually specify that you have to clone the GitHub repo, which is from here. So for you to be able to run that one, you must have cloned the repo. So if you notice, the documentation did not specify it. So for me, I was a bit confused because when they say run this, but here, when you read it here, they now say run Reth with Docker Compose, run the following command from a shell inside the root directory of this repository. But when you look at it here, there's only GitHub building. So because I actually know, okay, repository, GitHub, I have to clone it. So that was how I knew that, okay, yeah, I'm meant to clone it from GitHub, but it was not specified here. Then all I just need to do is to cd into it, run this command, and also run this one. So this, initially we ran this, but if you remember, we did not use the local setup, which is this. We had to change it with this one. So this was what we changed, and the Reth was now working fine. It was now running. So to run the full node, I could also run the full node with this, but I'll end up copying and pasting, changing this. I would have to do this for Reth, Lighthouse, Grafana, and the others. So with this command, as soon as you cd into this, which is, so I've actually cloned it. If you ls, you can see the Reth folder, which is this. So they now say cd into Reth, right? Then we need to copy this. So once you copy this, you run this. This is a bash script that would actually, so this is what that bash script is doing. Lighthouse. Let's go to Lighthouse so you see running a node. So what that script is actually doing is something similar to this. So it's just generating the JWT hex. That is what it's actually doing. So, but they just have it in the script. When you run that script, it would actually run this code. We can also go in and see what that script is. So we could cd into etc and cat, what is it called? Generate. So we could cat generate. So as you can see, this is the script. It's just a bash script that specifies where you should store the JWT and then generate the JWT. So this is just a bash script, as you can see. That's all. So nothing fancy there. This is where the main goal is, this guy here. So when you cd into that folder, you just run docker compose -f etc, and this etc is just the path. But now watch this. If I'm to copy this and then come here, I'm already in this etc, which is the folder path. I can get rid of them and it would still work, which is this. So I could get rid of them. So if I'm to run this, it would work, but it will fail because it's already running. So look at it. If I'm to run that, oh, I need my almighty sudo and so it's running already. So as you can see, it's absolutely, it will be ignored. Please remove all those ones are minor. So if I'm to docker sudo docker ps-a to check every running process. So this is the running processes that we have. So it did not actually create anything because this already was actually running. So this is it. So running that command, you would have this. Then for you to be able to test it that it's actually working, just copy this command and then paste it in your terminal. Okay, we are in the etc, this folder. So sometimes when you see these errors, just make sure you are in the right folder. So we need to do this, and also for this. Oh my god, sudo. I need to fix my sudo issues. So as you can see, this is it. So we have our connected pairs, which is 3, and every other thing is working fine. Then you can now go to your dashboard and view what you have there, which is this. So that's just the that's just the one line command for that. Do you understand? You said?
I got you. Thank you.
Yeah. So then the second method is just to use the build source, which is a bit kind of, you might have a lot of issues here, but if you run this and you don't have any build error, fine and good. You can just go straight forward and to do your stuff. I think we just have 30 more minutes. So let me use, let's go into mainnet, official testnets. So this is it. If you now want to set up the node alone, so let me stop all those processes. Yeah, so let's just stop all the processes. I think I've, oops, I needed that. Yep, so this is it. So all I need to say is stop, and so this is how we, there should be a command for doing that. Don't mind me, I don't actually know the command. So this is, forgive me, and the last one. So with this, I would stop the whole process. Yep, and remove them. So if you are to run this again, as you can see, our container is now empty, and the dashboard should, as you can see, no data. So we have actually removed that. As you can see, failed to load dashboard, failed to fetch, and all that fancy stuff. Yeah. So we have gotten rid of the node. As you can see, remember your go-to one line is that of Docker compose. So I think I can get rid of this. So for us to be able to run both the Reth separately and Lighthouse separately, all you just need to do is to come down to mainnet or official testnet. So what we're actually running is mainnet, which is expensive. So let's go to testnet so that we can test things there and see how things actually work. Because if you now want to test transactions, we can't use real it to keep testing transactions here. Let's not do that. Let's go into running a testnet. So as you can see, this is just what we have: execution, consensus, either Lighthouse or Reth, anyone running. So we can either run node or the full node. You can also check the documentation for which one you would prefer, but what we'll be doing is running the full node. All we just need to do is to pass in the flag full, which is dash dash full, and then we have the full node. So as you can see, this is just the default settings. If you wish to override them, this is the default settings. So let me do something, open this, a new tab. So let's copy this, go into our terminal, cd dot dot, and then did we build? So this is it. So the path to the secret, actually what was generated, if you remember, this is where it is. Where are you? Here. So this is where our script is. Copy. We could also check. So proceed into etc ls. Do we have that generated ssh jwt? Yes, we have jwt. This is it. So cd into j, wt, and ls. So as you can see, this is where our secret is. So all we just need to do is to pass in that path, which is this here, and we are good to go. So I need to add in one more string, which is this. Let's add in our metrics. Copy, and that should also be here. Yes. So that flag, this is for our dashboard, which is needed. This is for our dashboard. So all you just need to do, okay, let's pass in the flag dash dash full to run a full node. So as we can see here, just simply following the documentation and full, shutting down due to, oops, you can't find that. Forgive me. Let's do that one more time. Yeah, so I had to remove the last trailing slash. So this is it. It's now running. This is now only the Reth, and we are not using Docker for this. This is just Reth. No Docker, no Lighthouse, no Grafana, no dashboard for this. So you have to keep this terminal open. So this is one of the disadvantage when you want to do this all by yourself. So we should have sticked with our one line command, which is this here. But here, this is all what we have for this. Now, what next? We need our consensus client, which is Lighthouse. And as you can see, which is here, after running this, running the consensus client, first make sure you have Lighthouse installed. This is Lighthouse. So I'll just walk you through the installation because of time. So I would not be installing that. I think I have the images for that. Let me pull that up. Pictures. Yep. Yes. So let me get that. So this is our images for this is for Reth. Yes, so this is Lighthouse. So let me show you some of this. Let's put this by the side and installation. So as you all know, I've mentioned as soon as you find Docker images, please just run to that. But sometimes for fun, you can also go to what the source and also try to do that. So this is for Docker. You just Docker pull, Docker run to test it, and available Docker images you could also check. And this is pretty much straightforward. So, but for me, I decided to throw the knot. So this is what we did. You also make sure Rust is installed, which we already have. Then you have to install some of these dependencies. And if you have issues, make sure you sudo apt update and also upgrade. That is all. Then this is not for MacBook users. This is for a different OS. Make sure you check what is meant for you. This is for MacBook. This is for Windows. And then for Linux, this is it. Though it was not specified, all you just need to do is to git clone, which is what I did. You cd into Lighthouse. Then, oh, I did not run this. I see. Okay, let's do this. This would give me errors. Okay, copy this, come into another terminal, cd ls, So, okay, I don't have Lighthouse here. I think time would not permit me to clone this. Okay, yes, so this is it. I'm actually cloning the Lighthouse now. All I need to do is to cd into it, check out stable version. This is all git command, please. You can also search that. Then all I just need to do is to run what? Is to type in make and hit enter. This usually takes around 10 minutes. I initially had this. I don't know why I deleted it, hoping there will be enough time. But yeah, just in case time meets us here, we'll just, I hope you get the gist of it. So all you just need to do, this is for installing Reth on Linux. So you can go with Docker or simply just install these processes. As soon as you are done, just come down here, clone this, cd into Lighthouse, git checkout stable version, which would make you be on the stable version. And then because there are so many versions, and all you need to do is to run make. Our screenshot should have that, which is, let's go back a bit. Yep. So this, yes. So as you can see, this is Lighthouse. And also I was trying to pull from Docker images, which is this. So as you can see, this is where I actually sudo apt install, which is this line here. So this is it, where I did that. And where did I clone? Okay, that's not here. Let's go forward. Yes, so this is it. Git clone Lighthouse, cd into Lighthouse. Then I ran what? Make. So this command would actually run and have Lighthouse installed on your system. I already have that installed, but I forgot to switch to the stable version. So I was having errors, which I had to bypass. And then as soon as you're done, this is where I was actually testing Rust. Yes. And with that, I think we should be done. We're almost done. So we could run this and then you would see. I already have it installed. So, but yeah, let's give it a try one more time. So as you can see, these installations are easy. We don't need to go through these processes, but just for you to understand how both of them actually works. So let me show you the connecting point between two of them. Because initially in the one line command we have, we were not actually told how the two of them communicate. But here, this is where it's been done. So assuming you have installed that, this is where the communication happens. Here. So you have your Lighthouse. You also pass in the sync URL, a checkpoint. This is for mainnet, the execution endpoint, which is this, then the execution JWT path to the secret, which is the same one we actually made use of. That is what you would actually pass. And then if you don't intend running validators, initially the other setup did not actually allow us specify. But if we wish to change any configuration, all you need to do is to cd into docker compose.yaml and change the configuration you want. So you might be asking with this, how do we change all those configuration? Okay, cd into Lighthouse and let's get this. Copy this, paste, branch is up to date with the original stable one. Good. And all we just need to do is to run make. So this should be faster, yes, as you can see. So all we need to do, where is the other terminal? I thought we had 3. Yes, so this is it. So let's go into this. So I could cd into Reth, cd into etc, and yeah, let's check this. Okay, this command. So this is it. This is what we are looking at. This. Let's open that. nano docker compose.yaml. So this is it. So if you wish to change anything, if we decide to change it to Holiski, all I need to do is to come back here, down here, and change it. This is it. Holis. So this is now Holiski testnet. And then change this URL. So I'll just change this to, okay, it has that already for that of Holiski. So it would actually make use of this to determine what it's actually making use of. So can you see this? We could also change all this. So these are all things we could play with and change and configure them ourselves. So we could change the whole port, and yeah, so this is it. So as you can see, the example here says for Sepolia, replace -- mainnet with Sepolia with Holiski, and you're good to go. So this is what we have, and this is how to change the configuration with that one line command, which is fun. I've saved our file. If I'm to run that now, it will no longer be on mainnet, it will now be on Holiski. So we could also go to Lighthouse and also come down here and change this to Holiski. This is now on Holiski, and what next? Mainnet, and use a different checkpoint. So this is it here. Let's get a different checkpoint URL. Let's get that from here. From here, let's see. So this is it here. Open. I need the checkpoint URL, public endpoint. Good. So this is our public endpoint. Let's make use of this one. Copy that, minimize that, come back here, and let's change this. Yep, and with this, I think we are good to go. I think we are now set. So as you can see, for it to be able to communicate ports 9,000, this is 9,000. And yeah, we can now save this. Yes, hit enter, and all we need to do, cd dot copy this URL. Where are you? This one. Copy that. But first of all, I'll need to shut this down. Come back here. Let's close this. And where are you? Paste this here. Sudo. Why? Sudo, and put in the password. Yep, and we can now sudo docker ps-a, and we can now see all of them are now running. So let's go back to our dashboard, so you could see that it would no longer be on mainnet, but now on testnet. Local, no, not local host 192. Yeah, so let's come back here, and nope, it's still running. Let's give it some time. Let's check our pair. No, this. So our pair count is now 3. Let's go back to our metrics. So this should change. Wow, is this synced? Let me see. This should change to Holinsky. So as you can see, the chain ID, chain network. Let's check that. So Holinsky chain ID, as you can see, this is it. And when you check our dashboard, this is what we have. And this is syncing pretty, this has synced. Whoa, this is real fast. So as you can see, just changing those configuration, we now have our testnet and we can now interact with it. So these are the pairs. It's wow, it's actually moving very fast. So testnet, as you can see, that's all you need to do. And for this, our time. So once this is done, I'll just pin that up, have this back on, and then it would still work fine. But for that, you would have to turn on your you would have to turn on both Grafana separately and other metrics separately for doing that. So as you can see, this is our dashboard and it's all looking good. So any question? We are now on Holinsky. So that's the whole configuration you keep seeing here, which is this. Where are you? Yes, so this configuration, that is what we just saw how to change. So you can change all this yourself using that one single line. That is all. So, but yeah, let's see, it's almost done. So let's shut down this other node. Sudo docker stop. And yeah. So any question before we go further? Any question? Any question? So I had to stop that and also remove. So we are now, so let's have this back on, which is this. This should be running fine and this should be done in a bit. So for us to be able to run our dashboard separately, all you just need to do is to come down and we can now set up our dashboard to run properly. All I need to do is to make sure the configuration are the same. So let's cd into etc, then nano docker. Let's make sure the configuration that was used is actually the same. Okay, compare these two. So this is it. Our port 5551, HTTP 8545, and all that. So this is it, our metrics. Let's go down. So Grafana port 99. So this is it, our metrics. So this is actually same, which is good. And let's see. So we are almost done. We are almost done. This is still running. Let's now open the next terminal. Clear. And now this is for the Grafana dashboard. This is it. So we are now setting them individually. So we would have to run our Grafana dashboard separately, which is, don't forget, oh, okay, I need to, so cd into Reth, and then sudo this, put in your password, and now when we sudo docker ps-a. So as you can see, our Grafana is now running. Let's have the other one back on, which is nano Lighthouse. Let's check. So our metrics also on the same port, and port 919. This is for the metrics. Yep. So this is what I'm actually looking for. So this, yeah. So this is what we actually need here. So we get rid of Grafana and actually paste this here and paste that, and also check. So both of them are actually running now, and yeah, so this is now done. So all we just need to do is from the documentation, come back here, and now we need to copy this. Copy, paste this, and now for the secret now, remember the secret is here. Is that okay? Here. This is where our secret is. Get that. Paste that and run. Okay. We need to take this out. Oh. We need to specify. This is on this is where it's found. Yes. So we needed to specify that it's actually in the Reth, not in this same folder. So as you can see, this is now up, this is now running. Let's now check the dashboard and see what can we get. Let's now check. Nope, this has not changed. Should change to mainnet. Okay, yeah, so this is it. So for this, configuring this now, you would have to change you would have to get some things. Let me show you that here. So as soon as you're done with this, oh, did we pass in this flag? No. So for you to, if you don't want to stake on your node, all you just need to do is to add this disable deposit contract sync. So that's, with that, you're good to go. So let's now move into the dashboard setup, which is the metrics. So we run our node with this command, which is fine. So all you just need to do is to update, install these dashboard tools, but we already have them. I'm making use of the Docker version of it. So you can also install this if you wish. And all you just need to do is to add this flag, and yes, so this is what I was actually looking for. Yeah. So let's import. So it says to configure the dashboard in Grafana, click on the square icon in the upper left and click on new, then import From there, click on upload. Then we need to upload this JSON file. And for us to be able to get that, we need to copy that to our local system. So this is it. Let's see. This would actually take a bit. This would take time. So we would not actually wait for this to actually sync. So let me just show you how to download the file and then upload that to Grafana. Let's see, where's the next terminal? So this is it, X. So let's check where the file is. So we need to ls, this is it. So in Grafana, cd into Grafana, that is what we have, ls, and we can cd into dashboard. So ls. So this is what we need, this overview.json. So so you need to exit the server, because for you to be able to upload that, you need to download this file to your local system. So all you just need to do, exit the server and then you download that. There are so many tools. For me, I'm using the cp-p, then the name of the system, and then the IP address and the folder where it is. Then I need to specify the directory where I want to download that file to on my local system. So when I hit this, as you can see, this has now been downloaded on my local system. We can now have access to that in my downloads. Let's check. Where are you? So we can now feed into downloads ls. So let's check overview. So yes, this is it. So with this now, we can now come back to Grafana. Fail to start beacon, loading checkpoint state from remote HT. So this is timing out. Let's run this one more time. And okay, let's add, there's we could get rid of the old database, which is here. Come down and prune this, which is here. Yep. So we could copy this command, add this, and yes. So let's type confirm. So what we're doing, we're getting rid of every old existing database, just in case that is what is giving us an error. So you just need to hit enter. It will get rid of the old one and then wait for this to sync. So this is still running, and let's get back to our dashboard. So it says hit new, import, and select. So this is it. Select this. Excuse me. So the name is already taken. All we just need to say is v3, and this is a unique ID. So let's just add v3 to that. And so what it actually says is, come back here, and it says finally select this data source you just created and click import. So are we meant to create it? Once logged into the connection left panel and select the data source, click on add source, select this and test and save points. So let's do that before we do this. Let's go back. It says home. Yep, under connection, data source. This is it. And let's make it the default name. Let's add it v3. And yeah, this is it, port, this port. Are we meant to have it on this? Let's get rid of this. And make use of this. Copy that. We need the port. Sorry, I forgot about that. So let's put this here, and yes. So this is how it's meant to be. When you check the documentation, it says where are you. So next, open up localhost, and which we have done, admin. Click on connection, select data source, click add source, and we need to add this. Then it says what? HTTP URL field, enter HTTP localhost final. But this is not on our local system, so we need to use that IP address for that system, which the server URL, which is what we have there, and where else? That is all. So with this, we are good to go. You can now save and test. So we can now go to the dashboard and add visualization. So for now, this is not here. Let's go back home, save dashboard v3, save this. Let's go, and we now import, which is this. Select the folder v3. This is what we have. Change this to v3, and let's select this. So we now import. So for now, it's still not synced. Let's just give it. Oh, we are still making use of the old data. I think our time is fast spent. Let's just check this and see what we have. Oh, failed to start. This is also, this my network. Yes, so I think with this, as soon as you're done with this, confirm. So what we're actually meant to do, we're meant to delete this folder, which is the one we copied. CD into etc, CD into Grafana, then dashboard. Yes, so this is still making use of the old metrics data. So we're meant to get rid of that and then copy the new one that we have, and then have that uploaded here. We would actually see the existing pair count, which is this. So it's the same process. And then as soon as you have this running, you can now select your single metrics, and this would actually work properly. So this is having issues because it's not yet synced. This is not running and it's still. So this is, yeah. So this is where the main connection is meant to happen. So with this, all you just need to do is to monitor your node. And for this, you would not be able to close this. As soon as you close this, everything fails. So you have to keep that open and running constantly. So that's what you would actually do there. So do we have any other question before we call it a day? Don't forget, our AI integration. I think due to time, we would not be able to do that. So, but yeah, we're able to have our node synced and also able to do that on Grafana.